Hey guys, it's Lisa and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to make over a few items and we're going to start with this birdhouse. This is another one that a man brought to the shop and sold to us, and I'm going to make this over. And I'm going to start by giving it a paint job. And this is the color Savannah Mist, and I'm going to give this one coat is all that it took, but I give the whole body of this one coat of this color. And this is a Dixie Belle color. And then once I get the body of this painted, then I'm going to paint the roof in a dark brown, kind of like most of the roof is already. I just want a good color to distress to, because after I paint this roof, I'm going to distress it heavily. So I just wanted a lot of the dark to show through. So again, once I get this finished painting on the body of it, I'm going to paint the roof with the dark color. And I think I used the color Coffee Bean. You could use any dark color that you want. But I just gave the roof a good one coat of this color. And then after I got this color on and let it dry well, then I went over the whole roof with the color Buttercream. And again, I'll distress down to that darker color. But I wanted to address the little cracks between the roof and the body of this birdhouse. So I decided, instead of making clay molds, I would have to make a lot on this, and so that could get pretty pricey. So I just decided to use this lace from the Dollar Tree. I feel like it's a good size, and I know that it's not real durable outside, so that's why I plan on giving it a couple of good coats of a polyacrylic finish, so that I want to keep this color because I like how it looks with this blue and white roof, but I'll just treat it really good, or I'll just coat it really good with the polyacrylic. And again, I'll give it a couple of coats because I'm going to have to seal this blue paint anyway, and also the roof. So I'll just go over the entire thing and make sure that I really soak that lace well with the polyacrylic. So every area between the roof line and the body of this birdhouse will get this trim. And then once I get it trimmed out, then before I seal this, I'm going to put some decoupage on here. And I'm just using this napkin, and I think this napkin was gifted to me. I've not ever seen this on Amazon, but I feel like the color of these flowers will go well with this blue. So I just kind of tore all the flowers out, and I will decoupage them randomly on the birdhouse. So I did most of it on the fronts, and then I did a little on the sides. Now for today's projects, I needed to work on an area in my store where I have mostly the garden area, garden type decor, and I just have a big tree in the corner and have birdhouses and just lots of kind of garden type decor. So that was needing some serious attention, so that's why I decided to make some of these items for that corner. So once I got all the decoupage on here that I thought it needed, then and I let that dry well, then I took it outside and used my orbital sander and just gave this a very heavy distress, especially on the roof. And then I took my Minwax polyacrylic, and I think I'm using a semi-gloss finish on this because I wanted to give it some extra treatment since it's going to be outside. So I just went over this a couple times with that Minwax, and then and this is just a water base, and let that dry well. And then that's all that I did to this birdhouse, and I just really liked the way it turned out. So now the next item that I'm going to make over is this metal compote stand. So it started out just a brown cast iron, and so I just went over that brown with one coat of the color farmhouse green. And then I just kind of tapped it on because I wanted some of that brown to show through. And I'm still going to do some extra distress on it. But I like to tap it on sometimes. That way some of that shows through. And then once this dries well, then I will take a damp cloth and just kind of rub and put some pressure on it and get some distress. And this distressed really easily that way. So after I painted it and distressed it, then I just gave this one coat of that polyacrylic, and this one was finished. And I think this green really made a big difference in this compote. Now the next one I did is a little metal pitcher, and this one had a fake rust finish on it, but it's a look that I don't feel like is popular anymore. So I gave this 2 coats of the color buttercream and let it dry well. And then I used my ink pad to put some fake distress on it just by rubbing that ink pad around the edges everywhere that there was an area raised. And then after I did that, then I used my StazOn ink and my bee from the set I See Paris. That's an IOD set, and stamped a bee on the front. And then I clear coated this one, and that's all that I did to this. So the next item that I did was a little metal stool that's been in my store for a while. It's a really heavy metal, a good sturdy stool, but it needs some attention. So I'm going to give this 2 coats of the color buttercream and let it dry well. And then once I got that covered well and let it dry, then I'm going to do some decoupage on this. And I tore this little bee and the vines around it from a napkin, and I'm decoupaging just 1 layer of a napkin on the top of this. And then I'll do some of the fake distress with my StazOn ink, and then I will give this a good coat of polyacrylic, and I just brush that same polyacrylic on, and then that's all that I'm going to do to this one. And I'm not real crazy about the cutout star on the bottom. At some point, if it doesn't sell still, I will probably put a clay mold over the top of that. And this is painting that I had in the store for actually a couple years. It just hasn't sold. So I feel like this yellow is keeping it from selling. So I decided to lighten this background up some more. And so I just put a couple of coats of the color buttercream. And then I repaint the edges of the nest. And then that's all that I'm going to do to this one, except for add a little bit of distress around the edges of it and finish it off with a clear coat. And I forgot to mention that after I painted that nest, I just watered down that brown and just kind of flicked some black specks all over it just to add some extra dimension to it. So most of you have seen these little buckets, and I purchased several of these years ago and sold several. And these, I'm just kind of finishing the ones that haven't sold yet. And for a while, this finish sold well. It doesn't anymore, so I'm just going to make another one of these over. And I'm just going to use the color buttercream at the top of this, and then Rebel Yellow on that small section at the bottom. And then I'm going to put that same bee decoupage, that same napkin, I'm going to decoupage on the front of this, and then use my StazOn ink and do some fake distress on it. And then I'll seal this one like I did the others, and then that's all that I did to this one. Now, I mentioned in a couple of videos ago, actually, that I'm inviting you guys to make some of the hang tags that we've been doing and just kind of do your own thing with them, because I've had a lot of people want to show their projects, and YouTube really doesn't give you the opportunity to do that. You can't post pictures in the comments, and so I know that a lot of you are very talented. A lot of you have given me some great ideas. So I felt like a hang tag would be something very easy to mail, and if you want to make one or more of your own style, you can make them as large or as small as you want them and make them out of any material that you want. And I will post my address in the description where you can mail that, and then I will show that at the end of my videos. I will show all of them that I have gotten during that time and mention your name. So just write on the back of them the name that you want mentioned, and then I will show those close up, and that way you can share your talent with others. I didn't get the next item filmed. I had this little metal, I guess it's a crow on a stand that was a dark gray and black. And so I painted this with 2 coats of the color buttercream, and then I wet distressed this, and I gave it a coat of the polyacrylic. And I feel like this really freshened this up, and I think it'll sell now. It's another item that's been in my store for some time. I'm sorry for the short video. I wanted to get it on because I've got some other things that I need to start tomorrow, and I just didn't have a whole lot of editing time, so I had to just kind of rush through the steps. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless you and your family.